Agree with Gov. Yep.
So
Sometimes you get better, but yep.
so
No
I'm
brainer.
gonna do my best not to be an asshole here, but let's open it up. Let's look at what we got here. So our boy here, he's got partisan tactics,
Yeah, partisan.
anti-infantry tactics, which is the KV-8 shock troops, fear propaganda, incendiary artillery, and
See,
Soviet industry. And I want to see. So we've got one guy over here that has PAC 43 commander, two guys with PAC 43 commanders, three guys with PAC 43 commanders. Uh,
dude, I'm running.
every single Axis player has a commander with a PAC 43.
Do any of them have defensive doctrine?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah. The
the
two of them have the OKW one, and
fortifications? What
yeah,
about the
and
um
let's see.
defensive doctrine that the Wehrmacht can get?
So the
All right,
one guy has joint ops,
all right, I'm loading up right now.
and the other guy has Festung armor.
Hey, pause it for a second.
Yeah,
I'll
it's paused at 2 seconds.
at 2 seconds or 2 minutes.
2 seconds.
All right, all right. So let me look at the. Let me look at what the motherfuckers got.
No bullying,
So
Cart. I know you're a bully.
so who's Temp's username?
This is there is no goal in life.
Well, that's probably why he failed.
And gotta fight. Gotta keep fighting for the motherland.
All right, so you got one guy who's got infantry support guns. All four of them. You definitely know what he's probably gonna get out. Fortifications. I think these guys were team, honestly.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
looking at these loadouts and everything.
probably. At least some of them, right?
Yeah,
Either way.
because I've never seen this many. Well, the OKW has a very limited like number of commanders to pick, so so you can identify the commanders quickly.
I mean,
The Wehrmacht
the
is very
dude that
tough.
he's up against is Cat Weasel and Kino Mike. Kino Mike
So
on the
he
on his
he's
side of the
versus an
map.
OKW and a Wehrmacht.
Yeah,
Um,
so I'm guessing he's gonna be up against either Festung armor with the railway RD and the command
or
tank,
fortifications.
and yeah, fortifications. So it's
Let me
like
explain what Stukas.
uh the guy with all the leagues, I mean, you know, incendiary munitions for the leagues that he's probably gonna get wouldn't be half
Mm-hmm.
bad, but
Yeah,
we're not
see,
worried
because
about that. We're worried about countering
see, for I never really
this
go
pack.
medical HQ for when I'm running Firestorm. Like I usually go mechanized. That's the thing now. So I rarely see infantry support guns out. All right, I'm
Um,
at 2 minutes right now.
oh shit, you're at 2 minutes?
Uh,
Okay.
2 seconds.
Okay,
I meant.
hit go. Hit start.
All right, 1, 2, 3, go.
But I mean, yeah,
So
he locks in Soviet industry at the beginning. I mean, you don't even get repair stations till 3 command points. And what vehicles are you going to have by 3 command points that you really need a repair station? Like, just don't lose your engineers, would be my
I'm gonna
recommendation.
also follow this guy's camera too, because I want
Oh,
to see.
good call.
So,
Zooms in a little bit there.
so he's at least selecting units. Not exactly.
And I know for a fact that okay, so you can follow his camera. I know that his British teammate, for some reason, gets all the way to the victory point on the bottom side and then retreats without even encountering anybody. So
Okay, so
HMG's kind of just hanging out, for a minute.
What this guy also needs to learn is that if he's gonna be doing this type of shit, hold on. Yeah, bro, his micro's not the best. I mean, I'm not the best either, but
Well,
when you're level
it's
100,
like death by 1,000 cuts, right? Like the Brit the Brit infantry section makes it to the victory point, doesn't cap it, and retreats
that
without
might have
encountering anyone.
might have been a misclick, honestly, because I've done that type of shit before.
Yeah, pretty big mistake.
So my thing is that this guy is a max prestige. Why is this micro this bad? Yeah, I see his MG getting blocked. He's very lucky that OPW is facing. Sucks what the school line is.
But let's see. He's up against. It looks like Cat Weasel probably goes fortifications because the other guy locked in Askrens, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, his team doesn't end up taking the fuel on the top side. The American gets in a little too deep, I think. I mean, moderately successful for the American. Does not retreat his infantry quickly enough. Loses a rifle squad.
See, what I've been noticing is that once these fuckers are like instantly suppressed, like I'm not seeing that. Like once I see like the warning sign, I instantly retreat my units. I'm seeing multiple units that are being suppressed, and they're not being retreated.
Sometimes I stick it out if I need somebody to soak up fire for somebody else. I mean, not bad MG placement, I guess.
So
You know,
the yeah, it would have to be Cat Weasel going to the fortification because you know, Mike, he's MG spamming. He's only got one astronaut out on the field. That is very strange.
he's totally content not to even pressure that victory point on the bottom.
Because he knows he's going against a Brit, so he's probably staying back to be it.
Brit does have a mortar pit in the middle, near the star, so.
All infantry squads can have an additional infantryman.
Soviet on the left is making a little progress.
I don't really see the need for having both of these MGs one right behind the other.
But the thing is that the Maximus got the is able to out damage the MG42, but because of the firepower that the two MG42s have covering each other, there's no point on his side.
Like, I know, you know, I don't always make the right call, and hindsight is 2020. But like genuinely, like at least make sure that your team can secure one of the fuels before you lock in Soviet industry, for sure.
Well, here's the thing though, like that Brit, just smoke the MGs instead of actually hitting them with the motor pit, because the MG would die regardless.
I mean, they're killing a lot of models here. I mean, that's a lot of carnage.
He already lost 2 MGs, so I mean that's a really ballsy placement for him. Not only you, but you see what the motherfucker's building? Infantry support guns. Yeah, both MPWs get.
Does the 120 millimeter mortar outrange a League? Or are they about? Because I know that a League outranges a regular mortar.
I definitely know that basically a shorter. It's basically a shorter.
It's a howitzer.
It's a howitzer, so it's got a different arc to it. Howitzers tend to have a more
I mean, I get that. I'm just wondering, like, can a 120 theoretically counter Leagues? Not that it matters. He doesn't have a commander with a 120 mortar, but
let's see. A League's range is just, I would say, a few feet in front of its like normal range that it would fire infantry. Like a mortar pit has about the same range that a League gun has. No, it doesn't. A mortar pit has just shorter range of a League gun. A 120. Yeah, our boy is a dude. Got no infantry.
there's no, like, this is a pretty massive float right now.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
He is getting his tank of a battalion command. But I mean, how long were both of those MGs back there at the base?
They're not even getting healed. Wow. He should have at least had maybe a
We have
constant
now
or two up
installed a
there
field
so he
hospital
could
at headquarters.
so that way. Let's see.
Wow, this is like a 40-minute game.
Oh shit. So the axes aren't pushing; they're basically constantly down. That is what you got two
We now
Bambots.
have access to
Never
additional
want them to go
battlefield
hunt down.
options.
Know that from personal experience. Playing 2v2. Yeah, looks like the motor pit's about to die. That too.
The guy with all the League bulletins did in fact go Firestorm, and is lighting everything on fire on the other side of the map.
That's nasty. I don't know what this Russia's doing. Russia's not meant to. Soviets are not meant to play defensive. They're very, very aggressive. That's their best style.
I mean, you can always make it work, but like again, over here on the VP, what's the point of putting both of these machine guns facing like the same direction, right next to each other?
Very bad micro.
Yeah, I try to be non-judgmental here, bro. Okay.
No, look over on the far left. You see the Soviet on the far left?
What's the deal there? We got a Dishka that could do some damage to the 222.
Chilling around the house. Basically chilling in one corner.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
American in the middle. Lieutenant. Looks like we got a
Catweasel still has not brought a. Yeah, he still hasn't chosen.
No, the Firestorm got his issue out.
Heavy fortification now available.
I mean, the Zis gun here is the right thing to bring up against this bunker.
Yeah.
And you should definitely, if I don't know, I don't think he can see the Schwerpanzer going up. He doesn't know it's there. But
He now knows because it just popped up, but it's about to activate Panzer.
yeah, there it is. Definitely just start pounding that with the Zis gun.
I mean, one thing is that he's also just
Catweasel just went fortifications. That's super aggressive Schwer. I mean, he's gonna have to go pack 43 because he's not gonna be able to get any tanks.
I mean, I also don't see a retreat point at all, or medic at all.
Oh, telephone pole eats a AT gun round. That's unlucky. But I mean, they're gonna get this Schwerpanzer.
everybody.
Seconds this gun.
Enemy forces are neutralizing
I mean,
Yeah,
I
okay.
can tell these guys aren't good at all.
Whoa,
They're,
whoa, cart. Don't be a no bullying, okay? No bullying.
no, the reason I'm saying this, guys, is because like the amount of delay that they have on their units and damage is a lot later than what I would like have problems with. Like units for me, units having damage, like my reaction times are not good, but these guys are worse than me.
So,
That's
I mean, I'm looking here, like, if this Pack 43 is gonna be placed well, right? I want to see it like shooting through a sight blocker or where there's already nearby to cover it or something. But I swear, if he just places this Pack 43 like in the fuel territory, in the middle of the open, I'm basically just gonna throw my hands up.
in my opinion. I think the Pack 43 is gonna be near the metal metal because it gets healed and it can get reinforced. So what are the rest of these tables do? So the American doesn't have any infantry at all. It's very interesting. Plus,
Yeah, the American had a rough go at it at the beginning for sure. He actually made a pretty successful flank, even though I thought it was a bit too deep, but he lost 4 models on a soft, like 3 or 4 models on a soft retreat on a rifle squad. When if he should have just retreated, he wasn't even firing back, right? And he ended up losing the squad to it. Sniper just eats a whole belt from the fucking Maxim.
yeah.
I mean, we're almost 20 minutes in, so I wouldn't call this an early Pack 43.
None of these guys were
Maybe I'm being too harsh. It's only 13 minutes, but I don't see him. You know, he's not building it yet. He still doesn't even have enough command points. He's 2 command points
enemy
away.
is encroaching on our territory.
So the Axis player on the side where Berserker was originally, he has not had any buildings. He's going heavy transport straight there. He's going heavy transport all the way. I've seen this shit before. None of the OKW have their mechanized up yet, so.
They haven't even built one, so we're not
Yeah,
gonna
they
see a KT yet, either.
Interesting. Both of the vampires are going straight heavy transports. Like none of them are going for the tier 2 or tier 3 buildings.
Well, I mean, considering that nobody on the Allied team feels like moving their units anywhere,
Exactly.
like, what is this? These guys have moved on the top side, on the north side. The Soviets were sitting over here 2 minutes ago, and they've moved like 20 meters to the north,
I mean,
and they're all in a big blob.
you have the American in the center. Just he's basically got an AT gun, motor. And an
That
engine.
that M250 cal has been sitting there for quite some time.
I mean, he could move up his 50 cal to cover the church with the flank. Move up the.
Or just hop in the building, like anything to
Yeah.
keep the VP.
And, well, I'm not sure if the Panzer HQ did not target the building, so you would be fine if it did.
KV-8 lighting things on fire. I mean, haven't seen any armor from the enemy. Both sides have the fuel. Now we see the Pack 43.
Pack 43, where's it at?
16
Yep, like I
minutes.
said,
16 minutes.
the Pack 43 is right by the Metal Blade HQ. That's what it expected.
I mean, that's where it needs to be.
See, once my KVA got hit by a Pack 43, and I knew it was near a Metal Blade HQ, I would have because knock out the medical HQ, they grab all the reinforcements or the units.
So, I mean, we're at like 250 manpower, 135 fuel. He knows there's a battle group here. He knows there's a Pack 43 here. He knows that there are leagues here. He's run into the MG already. If this guy doesn't get a Katusha, he better have a good reason.
Well, like I say again, if I know there's a medical HQ very close to the front, and then I realize there's a Pack 43 near it, I would focus down the medical HQ. Because you could kill the Pack 43, but you could just reinforce his units, and they just keep getting reinforced. Take out the medical HQ, different story. But that's if you can hold the front, though. And
I mean, where did this guy's Zisguns go? One of them's dead. The other one's right there. Okay.
The Russian on the left got pushed back all the way, so the Americans can outflank. I don't know what
Dude just really doesn't want to use this building for some reason. I mean, I know that guy has incendiaries on the league, but Zisgun barrage managing to actually do massive damage with the one hit that it got.
Hey, Gov.
What's up?
Going out from the
He's, oh shit.
Now, these are the vet on the back 3 points. Increased rate of fire and weapon control, accuracy. Further improved rate of fire and accuracy, improved weapon damage, and improved weapon range. So you now want to let it Pack 43 survive till vet 4.
Okay, so he does get his Katusha. He does get his Katusha. So that's,
So he does transition.
I would say that's the correct move.
He
Dude
should
manages
get
to heal the whole thing all the way, but he's hitting it.
Well, he should get another one.
I mean, here's the thing, right? He takes out this Pack 43 or decrews it.
Yeah, but you also got units nearby, though. That's the problem.
Y-
Near the
well,
HQ?
What I'm saying is, if he takes this out and decrews it, these units nearby can't stop a KV-8. I mean, these are leagues and a left gun.
Well, he does have. He's only got Swoon Pioneers to replace it, so. I mean.
I'm not sure second Katusha is the right play.
Well,
I mean, I get it. You want to get rid of the pack, but you know, you're not capped on all the VPs right now. You got some time, and you see that your allies are getting their fucking shit rocked.
well here's the
And
thing, though.
your Zisguns are decrewed. You have nothing if they send a tank up there, and they have tanks. They have 3 Stug E's.
And let's not forget, Voku, the Red Vamax. He's got 2 Panzer Grenadiers Shreds. And he's got 2 pack. 2 pack guns.
All right, another Katusha going out.
Okay.
Not at the Pack 43 though, just stopping the leagues. Apparently, trying to.
That's worth a shot, but I would ask something on Cool Pioneers. Yeah,
Well, I mean, here's what I'm thinking in my own mind. The dude he stole your Zisgun, but you don't know that. You have a KV-8, right? You know these leagues are way up there at the front. You fire both your Katushas at the Pack 43 and send the KV-8 to flamethrower the leagues. That's what I would do.
See, what I don't understand is that why not wait? See, I would have waited. Oh, here come the Stogies. He's got 4.
I mean, whoever this guy is with the Stug E's, he's either bad or he's doing this intentionally.
He's probably just cheating, honestly.
Like, I mean, okay, it's not either bad or he's doing this intentionally. Either he's doing it intentionally because he's not like worried about losing at all, or he's doing this intentionally and thinks this is genuinely a good idea against a normal opponent.
I mean, the show keys are basically clearing everything out. So, I mean, he's got enough fuel to call him up. So,
I mean,
I'm pretty sure he's paying for a Tiger.
I think overall the biggest mistake is going Soviet industry. I mean, well, even then, it's like the KV2. I use it from time to time, but the ISU 152, in my opinion, is better in almost every situation.
Yeah.
You,
I
you
exported for armor piercing.
and
That's good.
and I suppose you get it later, but there are other doctrines with the KV8 that would have a better way to deal with this.
Like, he could have gone,
Shock rifle frontline tactics.
rifle.
At least then you get the flame arty.
He could have gone air tactics. That would have actually stung the PAT 43 because the propaganda can actually pin PAT 43. So could have
This-
done that.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Watching this makes me feel like maybe the ranking system does work better than I thought it did.
In what form are you talking about?
Well, it's like I don't play randoms that. It's very rare that I play randoms that I can never lose a pack 43 to, especially that far forward.
I mean, that's a very aggressive back 43. I mean,
That's a very aggressive battle group, man. I would have that like back next to the house. That
Yeah.
house farther down.
yeah, through my months of experience, like hours of experience, I've always kept my medical, mechanized, and infantry further back.
Again, with the SU-85 going to hit that Stug E, you know that pack 43 is there, man.
I mean,
You knew it was there.
that SU-85 is not even using focus sight. You could have just used focus sight and keep out of range.
I mean, you definitely could have avoided the pack 43 to hit these Stuggies if that was your goal.
I mean, you could have had the SU-85 basically near the point and just have focus sight. One tactic I like using with the SU-85 is basically having it in like a fan motion, like having it face like one direction and then having it swing basically 180 degrees. That basically gives me a rough estimate of what to run.
This game's only half done, man. Okay, the King Tiger is here for the fortifications, dude.
I mean, the fortifications guys only got you'll find MG infantry support gun, a league, some center counter barrage, and a pack.
Yeah, the Katyushas, they're already getting. It looks like they're about to eat a counter barrage from the left guns.
Yeah, if you
Like-
know that the left gun, you gotta keep your artillery moving.
Only 200 points remain.
That's
Double
the
your efforts.
yeah, I'm seeing no movement from the artillery.
This guy has had no anti-tank. I guess in the form of an SU-85, a single SU-85, but
He's probably just relying on the Brit Firefly.
I mean the Jacksons here does get a good hit against the King Tiger. This King Tiger's taking a lot of damage.
By the way, are you at 26 seconds right now?
Huh?
Are you at 26 minutes right now?
26-21.
Alright, so you're about 20 seconds ahead of me.
Damn. Okay.
So I mean, the King Tiger can basically soak up the damage. So the OKW is getting out another artillery gun.
Looks like it. I mean, there's what can you even do at this point? I mean, 3 Stuggies, a King Tiger, a pack. No, not 3 Stuggies. 6 Stuggies. 6.
Stoogies.
I mean, this is a surrender at this point.
I would have just saved up my Tiger, honestly.
I mean, if they knew what these guys had, this is a surrender at this point. Like, he's got the Wehrmacht player himself over here on the one side. By virtue of having a stolen Zisgun and some Panzerschreck Panzer Grenadiers, as a more balanced army, or can counter more threats.
Because the Stoogies can basically kill infantry outright, honestly. Having multiple of them.
I mean,
That,
not bad work with the Katyushas, right? I mean, the Katyusha, he's got 2 2-star Katyushas, but a 3rd Katyusha is probably not what I would have gone with. It looks like he does give up this south side.
well, he's got to be smart with his artillery by putting it in an area where he knows the front is solidified for a bit. But he's just got no infantry. I mean, Soviet industry, you're more relying on tanks more than anything. But in my opinion, Soviet infantry is only good as long as you have at least maybe 2 clown scripts on it.
Well, I mean, even then, if we look at what he's got here, he's floating 600 manpower and almost 200 fuel, and still doesn't have a single anti-tank unit.
See, I would have just said screw the KV2 and go strip the F-35. Because the KV8 and the Centaur basically hold back the infantry.
Like, this amount of resource float... Okay, Su-85, that's... I would have expected the Su-85 a little while ago, honestly.
Now he's
Instead
getting
of that
outgunned.
3rd Katyusha. But I mean, these Stug E's, I mean,
I mean, they're eating shit, but
well, I mean, why did the infantry stay there to fight in that whole thing? For the other players, it's not even about the guy we're watching here.
I mean, the Stokes aren't really being supported by Stokies so much. I mean, the American left is actually-
I'm gonna be honest, I think Kino Mike was just pop-capped and needed to lose his whole army.
That's no, Stokies are honestly 8. Pop cap.
And he had like 6 or 7 of them, man. He's just making more. He's just calling in more.
Yeah, I'm really surprised he hasn't done Tiger.
Like I said, I think he just doesn't really give a fuck. But yeah, the Su-85 is the right call here. I would have traded one of those Katyushas for an Su-85. I mean, you have 2 Katyushas, both Vet 2. When do they get the faster cooldown? Yeah, you get the increased rate of fire at Vet 2. 2 Katyushas at rank 2. More than enough to at least keep the Axis player, you know, worried about it.
I mean, the Russian that went airborne, he's got a pretty good sizable army.
He's got a lot of infantry. He's
But
got a
the,
couple AT guns.
Yeah, but the Americans basically got nothing.
I've seen this guy went airborne. He he's lost a couple T-34s and is making more T-34s. I mean, I'm not sure that's the right call.
385s.
I mean, I really feel like the Soviet airborne guy just threw the game there in the mid for some reason. He just sent everything into the middle cap and lost almost all of it.
Yeah. Would you realize you got Silk East? I guess. Yeah, ooh, like, I'm watching that right now.
I mean, regardless, with the AT guns, he walked all the way through the smoke to the other side of the smoke and fired instead of just attack grounding through it.
I think that was basically like a last ditch charge.
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure he just left-clicked attack move,
One of our AT guns has been neutralized.
if I had to guess.
Yeah,
He's floating 600 manpower, 200 fuel. Oh, he did get something. Oh, he's making 2 more T-34s. Probably not the right
See,
call.
See, I run T-34s with the airborne because, in my opinion, airborne is all about mobility, honestly. So.
I don't know.
that's how But wait,
I don't think this is the game for it. I mean, you're up against a massive amount of Stug E's. You
yeah,
can outrange those.
the Stookies are doing their job. So. By the way, what did the Wehrmacht do?
I mean, this Brit player
An emplacement is being attacked.
made the 17 pounder. Not really sure he had a choice. I mean, he was the only AT on that side. Loses all of his infantry sections to a really unfortunate left gun hit.
I mean, he wouldn't advance the placement. I mean, that thing is basically holding back the.
The King Tiger. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is it dead? I think it died. Yeah, it died. King Tiger is dead right there in front of the 17 pounder.
Yeah, 17. I combined with the Firefly, the 17 pounder basically killed it.
17 pounder only has 1 kill, so if that's the only kill it got, it still paid itself off.
Ooh. That Brit just lost all of his.
50 points left.
I mean, I will say, no goal in life. He did manage to keep his KV-8 alive the whole game. But keeping it alive the whole game when it, you know, spent most of the game doing nothing is kind of much ado about nothing.
What I can tell, Axis have the infantry advantage. No, some of the OKW.
Dude, the Axis has every advantage here. I mean, I guess the red guy threw his whole army away too.
Firestorm got. I mean, the army population
To be
Axis are not above 60.
to be honest, yeah, I don't know what they must have done there. The Katusha, I know he lost 1 Katusha, but they did just destroy the red guy's entire force. They could have pushed this. Like, I don't know what scared these Su-85s away, but this battle group, Schwerpanzer and Mechanized Regiment, are all vulnerable.
Because the Stokes aren't even on vehicle only, so they're shooting at infantry instead of when they should be shooting at Su-85s. Plus, the Wehrmacht, that's the Wehrmacht and OKW on the right. They're not even shooting any units. Like, they're not flanking at all. So.
I mean, the Allies, they have a massive imbalance over here where they could just sit here and flank all of these to death, and they're not doing it.
Oh, hey, Commander, what's up? Yeah, I mean, it's like the army values for all of them are if you're above 70, from what I can tell. Well,
Everybody here is like not pop
Like,
capped.
oh, you see the Catfield building another hack?
Yeah,
This time it's in the center.
I mean, another thing I would say, don't if you can fire both your Katyushas at the same time at the Pack 43, it's probably worth doing. Especially if
I
it's next to the
would've-
battle group where it can get
Oh,
healed.
he's building another Katusha though. I would get out more conscripts, man, so I can cap points.
Well, he can, he's just not doing it. He can get a conscript right now.
Sorry, Commander, we're roasting this guy right now. We're roasting.
I get it.
Said-
I get it. He's microing right now. He's microing against, you know, he's trying. He didn't take any real damage on the KV8, right?
Well, the fact
I
that
paused it because this is about over. But
Are
like,
you watching the video from yesterday?
no, I'm
Alright.
watching what a total loser sent as a recording.
Right.
His name is a total loser. I didn't call him a total
No, I
loser.
know.
But
Is he a total loser?
well, like here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're 2-to-1 capped with VPs right now.
Right.
This guy has 3 Katyushas, 2 Su-85s, and a KV-8. One-man conscript squad and 1 4-man conscript squad. And can you guess what he's fighting over right now?
Sorry, I don't know.
He's trying to cap the fuel point.
Really?
He's trying to cap the fuel point. He has 91 fuel, 323 manpower, 3 tanks, and 3 Katyushas. And they're down on VPs, and he's fighting over the fuel. Like,
No,
fuel is important. Fuel is important.
not that late in the game.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're 37 minutes in. You have 6 vehicles and enough to buy another one if you wanted to.
I mean, these Katyushas could easily kill the Panzer HQ on the far right. Maybe with an Su-85 thrown in there.
I mean, I get it. They gave up on that side. I get that. I mean, I think he gave up on that side. That's fine. It was a good idea if he thought he couldn't counter the pack with the left guns to not go over there and just take hits from the pack gun. But why aren't they're not pressuring you on the top VP? The game is victory point control. All that's covering the VP in the middle is 1 regular Stug, maybe a low health Panther, but 1 regular Stug, 3 Stug E's, and a Zis gun. If you can't counter that with 3 Katyushas, 2 Su-85s, and a KV-8,
Honestly, man, these are some of the weirdest army value combinations I've seen, but they are very counterable in my opinion.
well, I mean,
What's the video from though? What's it for though? Like, why did he send you a video?
well, he asked me how you counter a 12-minute pack 43.
Even though it was like
It's in general chat. You can see it. You can see our conversation.
I saw
I mean, woohoo! We're at 38 minutes in, and they managed to stop the enemy from capturing the fuel on the north side of White Ball. But they have 3 tickets left, and they just started to push the flag in the middle.
But the video just ended for me.
That's just it, though. It's like, why are you fighting over the fuel when you have? I get not wanting to lose the fuel. Like when especially when there aren't any vehicles on the field yet, or you haven't teched up all the way. But it's like, your priority right now should be to stop the bleed if you can. What's up, Commander?
Pack 43 is not that hard to counter.
Exactly. I mean, even if it's supported by like quick guns and everything, if you do a quick barrage from Katyushas and then back away, you'll be fine.
Because if it's covered by MGs, you build a mortar, you smoke the MG, you run up there with some infantry, nade it to death.
I mean, all of those things I suggested.
Hey,
Dude, man, when I see a Pack 43, in my head all I think is the smoke grenade and 3 gamma bombs. Rest in
Well,
peace.
he's Soviet, specifically as Soviets. How do you counter it?
Just Molotov,
I mean,
man. Just fuck
I
it
mean,
up.
he killed over 100 infantry with his Katyushas. I mean, that's good.
He did
But
40k damage. He did 40k damage using mostly Katyushas. I'll give him
but
that. That's
I mean,
positive KD as the Soviets, but it's not that hard to get a positive KD as the Soviets when you don't actually produce any infantry.
and plus I'm looking at the army. Like, I'm looking at the army values. Like, you go to the graphs and look at the army values. Compared to the allies to the Axis. Like, there's a lot of dips. And like, there's a lot of flatline. Like, there's a huge flatline around the 26 to 31 minute mark, but then it just fluctuates. However, if you look at the allies, there's like, it's basically fluctuating. Like, there's no plateauing except for towards the end there. So
Did they lose that match, by the way?
lost.
Oh,
the match.
wow.
They got like the finishing score was 346 to 0.
It's I'm gonna say the two biggest mistakes in that match were, and I've had these mistakes in my time playing this game too, but two biggest mistakes: locking in Soviet industry right away when you don't actually get anything from Soviet industry right off the bat anyway. So what's the point? And secondly, there were a lot of times where the Axis was like completely weak and exposed, and our guys just backed off.
I mean, the Axis didn't have barely any infantry. They were mostly focusing on tanks, and they were mostly
I mean, they had team weapons.
defensive buildings.
They had team
So-
weapons, but I mean, a Schwerpanzer and some MGs and Leagues should not stop a KV-8.
Hey, I mean, take out the damn Pack 43 because
The Pack 40, he had the KV-8 before the Pack 43 showed up. The Pack
Yeah, I'd rather
43
fight a
took its
KVA.
the Pack 43 took its first shot as soon as it got built, if I remember correctly, at the KV-8.
yeah, and the KVA took half damage and he backed off. But you also remember that he lost a few resist guns, so you also have that to take into account. I mean, it's very hard to talk about shit like that because you don't know. Basically, all of the teammates were doing their own fucking thing. Like, it was just as soon as they realized, oh shit, we're gonna lose, everybody just rushed fucking center. So, and that one other Soviet lost all of his units.
I mean, I didn't really think that anybody there played particularly well except for maybe the guy who went Firestorm, but I didn't watch him all that closely.
I was
What map
watching.
is it?
I was keeping
White
tabs
ball.
on everybody. The Firestorm was keeping his army pretty good, but he was also losing. Like, he lost his tanks, but he was able to keep a lot of his infantry alive though. So
I mean,
uh,
he had that they had that Russian player on that side, even though the Russian guy had a massive army. Had him
the
on that
Russian was
had him
very
on that
aggressive.
side, all pushed all the way back.
Yeah. So I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah, peace.